Alright, today we're going to go over constraining objects together in Inventor. Constraining is basically a really fancy way of saying putting things together. So taking multiple parts and assembling them together to make a final product. Constraining is basically saying this is going to go there or where or how. Because it's a three-dimensional world, when you put parts together, if you don't constrain them, they can literally be inside of each other, like just floating in the middle of a different object. So you have to constrain them and give them some sort of restrictions as to where they can go. So we're going to start with our pegboard. You can see I have all my peg pieces here. You guys should have all of these saved in one particular folder. I'm going to come all the way over to here to where it says New Assembly. So when I do that, it's going to bring up this little three-dimensional construct with nothing in it. And so I'm going to have to load my different pieces of my pegboard toy in there. We'll do that in a second. Give it a minute. Alright, so first piece I want to place in there is probably going to be the actual pegboard itself. That's the biggest piece, so it's kind of just easier to do. So I come up here to where it says place. Now I saved everything onto an Inventor folder on my desktop. Hopefully you guys did the same. So I'm going to go to Desktop, Inventor. Here's my pegboard. I can hit open, and it's going to ask me where do you want to put it. Well, I only need one. First of all, let's move it a little bit. Let's zoom out a little bit. I only need one of them, so I'm just going to click it once. Okay? If I wanted more than one, I could just keep clicking. I don't. So I'm actually going to hit escape, which kind of just sets it in that one spot. Okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and grab my legs, hit open, zoom out a little bit. So I'm going to put this somewhat close to where the leg would go. You'll see I can actually like push it through. So just kind of put it here. Okay, so now I've got another one, but you'll see it's facing the wrong direction. I'm just going to place it there for now. Okay. So now I hit escape again. I've got my two legs here. I can actually move these around wherever I want, and if I go to free rotate, I can actually rotate them as well, which would give me that. But you can see it's kind of tough to get exactly where I want it to go. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to go hit Control Z and go back to this, because if you constrain this correctly, I can actually just make this face land on this face pretty easily. Okay, so to constrain, you're going to come up here to this button that says constrain. So again, this is where I'm going to say face to face. So in the legs, I obviously want this inside face here to be right here on my surface. So like it'll turn that and put those two together face to face. So when I hit that, you could see it turned it and made it work right there. So then I can hit OK. So now I could actually come here and I can move this, but it knows I need to be right there, but I could still move it around. So what I want to do now is I'm going to constrain lines and edges. So this outside edge of my pegboard here is going to need to be right next to this inside edge of my leg. If I do that and I hit enter, you'll see that now my leg is completely flush and on that. And here I can't move it. I can move it up and down, I guess. So what I want to do is I'm going to constrain one more. I'm going to constrain this line right here and this line right here. Hit enter. Now this is a solid piece. If I hit escape, whenever I move them together, they will move together. So I have effectively put that leg on there. Do it again up here. I'm actually going to just start. Move this over here. I'm going to start with this line and this line, because I want this corner right here, this edge of that inside of the leg, to fit right there. So if I go line to line, it's going to put it on there. I hit enter. Now it's there. These two lines are now one. But if you look, I'm still not even. There's a little lip here. So now I want to do the same thing where I want to get the bottom edge of my pegboard, and I want to get it squared up with this little lip on my leg. So if I come here, puts it together, I hit enter. Now, as you can see, my pegboard is fully assembled as far as that's concerned. So my legs are on there, my board is right there, everything looks good. I can even turn it a little bit to take a look at it, different angle, doesn't really matter, it's on there. Okay, so now I need to place my pegs. I'm going to place one round peg in here, and I'm going to go ahead and place the one square peg as well. Okay, now when you go to constrain these, remember, when you're constraining, you're putting limitations on where they can actually move. So I want this round peg to go in here. If you notice, the pegs are really easy because I can get the outside surface of the peg, and then I can get the inside surface of the hole. So I know I want that outside surface to fit directly inside of that hole. So if I just click there and hit enter, you'll notice my peg is now stuck in there, and it's not going anywhere. It can come out, and it can go back in. That's the only place it can go, because I constrained the circle, the side of the cylinder, to the inside hole. I'm going to do that one more time. So again, the inside of the hole, I'm going to select it. Now I'm going to go the whole outside of the cylinder and hit enter. Okay, then I can move everything together. This will stay in there and put that right in there. Okay, so then we can go to the square peg. Square peg's a little bit trickier, okay, because it's a square. You want to go face to face, or you can go corner to corner. You're probably going to need to do at least 2 of these. I usually like to do a face with a face first, okay, but you'll notice that when I do that and I zoom in, let me hit escape here. Oh, where'd it go? Oops, I forgot to hit enter. So constrain this face to this face, hit enter. Now it's there, but basically it's just on this horizontal line right here with that face. It's not actually constrained in there. But if I turn it slightly, let's see if I can do it this way, and zoom in, I could take this corner right here, see how it goes from face to line, and I can actually put it into this corner right here by turning slightly. Let's see if I can get to it. Alright, and it will assume, it can find it, it's right there. I know this is terribly confusing, you just kind of got to do the best you can with it. This angle, can't really get a good angle on it. My best bet is to go right here, zoom in. This would be this face on the inside of the hole. I want just this line. So if I click that, hit enter, we're going to zoom out, escape. Now my square peg is stuck in there. It can only go, and it can only move in a spot where that face is flush to that side of the hole, and this corner is constrained right in there. So these can only move right here, and that's it. The whole thing can move together. That is the constraining in a nutshell. This is obviously a very confusing thing. So if you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask. As we move forward into Inventor, you're going to have to constrain more and more difficult parts. So this is going to be a very important skill to have.